Today I'm going to show you how to make two different types of pasta salads, one with a vinaigrette and one with a mayonnaise-based dressing. So let's talk about the pasta salad that I made with the vinaigrette first. Here's what you're going to need. 4 ounces of pasta. You can use shells, you can use rotelle, you can use ditalini. I prefer to use a small pasta shape. You're also going to need a 1/4 cup of broccoli florets, 1/2 cup of red or yellow pepper diced, about 1/4 cup of small diced cucumber. This is a European cucumber, or an English cucumber, has very thin skin and very small seeds, and it's great for salads. 1 scallion sliced, a 1/4 cup of grape or cherry tomatoes sliced, 1 tablespoon of minced parsley, 2 tablespoons of sliced olives, and 2 ounces of fresh mozzarella. I have a pot ready to boil my pasta, so let me show you how I prepare my broccoli florets. So I have a small piece of broccoli that I'm going to cut down into florets. You don't want to cut directly through the flowering part, which is the top part of the broccoli. What you want to do is you want to cut through the stem and then pull the pieces apart so you get nice rounded natural pieces of florets. The stems are absolutely edible, but I don't want to put them in this preparation. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare my cucumber. So I only need a small amount of this cucumber. I'm going to square off one of the sides so I can have a nice flat base. I'm going to cut my slab cuts, and I'm looking for a small dice, so it's about 1/4 inch. But here I'm actually going to take out the middle because I don't want to add the seeds to my salad. And I like to cut it out this way so I don't lose a lot of the flesh by cutting around it. So I cut it out after I cut my slabs. Then I cut it into sticks, and then I cut into dice from there. Now I'm going to cut my pepper. You can see that I've already have this pepper cut open from a previous use. I just wanted to show you that you are cutting around the center core of the pepper, and you're going to do this so that it's easy to take the seeds out. The seeds remain in the center when you cut around the center. I'm going to cut it into sticks, and then I'm going to turn it, put them all together, and cut them into a dice. Now onto my scallions. I'm going to use both the white and green part of the scallion. I'm going to cut them nice and thin so that they mix well into my salad and are about the same size as my other ingredients. Next, I'm going to prepare my grape tomatoes. You can also use cherry tomatoes. If you don't have these, you can use any type of tomato. Just want to cut them nice and small into thin slices. The goal is to make sure everything is uniform in size. Next, I'm going to mince my parsley. I took all of the leaves off of the stem. I gathered them together, cut them in thin strips, and then I minced it back and forth using the rocking motion with the knife. Next are my olives. If you buy pitted olives that do not have the pits inside them already, that's a much better idea. But this is what I had at home. So in order to get the pits out, I just press down lightly on the olive with the side of the knife, and it splits it open. I pull out the pit, and then I slice them. Next is my fresh mozzarella. I'm going to cut them into slabs, then I'm going to cut them into sticks, and then I'm going to cut them into a dice. Remember that everything should be consistent in size. Now let's get ready for our pasta. I have about 4 cups of water and about 2 teaspoons of salt, and I'm going to add my pasta to the rapidly boiling water. I'm going to stir it a couple of times, and then I'm going to cook it according to the package directions. I do not want these al dente. I want them a little bit softer, as that texture is better for a salad. When it has about 3 minutes left of cooking, I'm going to add in my broccoli, and I'm going to blanch my broccoli. We're not looking to cook this all the way through. We're looking to start the cooking process, take them out of their raw state for the salad, and make them a vibrant green color. When everything's done, I'm going to drain my pasta, and I'm going to cool both the pasta and the broccoli down completely. Now, I'm going to make my dressing. For this dressing, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, 1 teaspoon of honey, 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a teaspoon of minced garlic, and 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, as well as salt and pepper to taste. You're going to combine all the ingredients except for the olive oil together until they're well combined. And then you're going to slowly drizzle in your extra virgin olive oil so that you can form your emulsion. Remember that your mustard is going to be your emulsion stabilizer during this recipe, so it's going to help it become one cohesive dressing. It should not split or break if you mix it correctly. Make sure you taste for seasoning, and then you're ready to add your salad to it. So I'm going to add my pasta with my broccoli first, and then I'm going to add all of my prepared ingredients. I'm going to combine well, and then I'm going to wrap it and store it in my refrigerator overnight so that I can serve it tomorrow. Salads are always much better when you prepare them a day in advance because all of the flavors get to interact with each other and it really completes the dish. The next day before service, you're going to adjust for seasoning and serve. You can add all different ingredients to this pasta salad. Hope you enjoy this one. The next recipe I'm going to make is macaroni salad. Macaroni salad is typically made using elbow-shaped pasta and a mayonnaise dressing. So you need 4 ounces of elbow pasta, 1 tablespoon of parsley minced, a 1/4 cup of diced celery, 2 tablespoons of red onion diced, a 1/2 cup of diced pepper, and a 1/4 cup of shredded carrot. I only had small carrots. If you have the larger one, I'll show you in a little bit, it's easier. So let's prep our mise en place. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dice my red onion. I'm going to do my horizontal cuts, then I'm going to do my vertical cuts, and then I'm going to do my cross cuts, making sure that I'm getting nice small dice. Up next is my celery. I'm just going to trim both ends to make sure there's no brown parts on my celery. I'm going to cut them into smaller manageable pieces. Then I'm going to cut my stick cuts, and from there I'm going to cut my dice. Just make sure you group them all together and even them out in the front, and then you can start your dice. Now I'm going to prepare my pepper. When I cut my pepper, I cut around the stem end. I do that so I can make sure that I leave the seeds on the inside. I only needed a small piece, so I didn't cut the whole thing. So I cut those slabs into sticks, and then my sticks into a dice, making sure they are the same size as my other vegetables. Now I'm going to shred my carrots. So I have these small little tiny carrots. They're all I had, so they had to do. So I carefully grated them, but I much prefer to use the loose carrots that are on the picture on the bottom right-hand corner. They are much safer to shred on a box grater because the box grater is very sharp, so you have to watch your knuckles. And with these small baby carrots, it's a very difficult task. And now for my minced parsley. Don't forget, remove the leaves from the stem. From there, you're going to bunch them all together in a nice little pile. It's much easier to mince when it's all together. I'm going to cut thin slices, and then I'm going to go back and use the rocking motion and mince my parsley. My water has come up to a boil, and I'm going to prepare my pasta. I have about 4 cups of water here and about 2 teaspoons, maybe a little bit more, looked like, of salt. I'm going to add my pasta. I'm going to stir because you want to make sure that they don't stick together. And I'm going to cook it according to the package directions, but maybe 1 minute more to make sure they're a little bit more tender than al dente. Taste them, and when they're ready, you're going to strain them. I'm going to cool them off with some cold water. And then I'm going to make sure that they drain really well so there's not any extra water left behind so I don't water down my dressing or my salad. So now let's make our dressing. This is a little bit easier to make because you don't have to slowly add any of the ingredients. I just kind of combine everything together. So I'm going to take a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of sour cream, 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. If you only have red wine vinegar, you can use that instead. They are very interchangeable. They both have a really nice bright flavor to them. I have 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon each of onion powder and garlic powder, as well as some salt and pepper to taste. I'm just going to combine these well, and I'm going to taste for seasoning, and then I'm going to add my drained pasta to the bowl. Now I'm going to add the rest of my prepared ingredients, my onion, celery, peppers, carrots, and minced parsley, and I'm just going to combine it really well. Some people add chopped eggs to this recipe, relish or diced pickles, or even a can of tuna fish. You can add a lot to this basic salad to really bring it up to the next level, but you can see that it is really very easy to make. I'm going to taste it for seasoning, and then I'm going to set it aside so it can chill, and I'm going to serve it tomorrow. I will adjust the seasoning again tomorrow and serve to my guests. This is a great salad to serve at a barbecue or even with sandwiches. Hope you enjoyed these recipes. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell for notifications for when we post new videos.